The following video has been rated CT. It contains logical questions and critical thinking throughout. Viewer discretion advised. To the mindless followers of the world, for well over a year now, you've done everything in your power to bend others to your will. You've harassed those of us who refuse to take on your fear as ours as well. And whenever someone dares to stand up against you with logic, you fail to provide any justification for your willful ignorance. The truth doesn't mind being questioned. It is lies that don't like to be challenged. So to prove to you just how many lies you've chosen to believe, I have some questions for you. If it's so effective, why are we being bribed to take it with food and drinks that make us more unhealthy? If it's so dangerous, why hasn't the homeless population been completely eradicated by it? If people are so scared of coming down with it, why aren't they just staying home and leaving the rest of us alone? How do the plastic dividers at the grocery store checkout lines protect you when the cashier will touch everything you had in your cart before you take it all home yourself? If we still have to cover our faces after getting it, how effective is it in the first place? How many times does the CDC have to change their guidance before you realize they have no idea what they're talking about altogether? If public health is worth giving away medicine for free, why aren't medicines being given away for free to treat other illnesses? Why do professional athletes get to have bare faces while playing, breathing, and sweating all over each other, but you have to cover your face if you want to go watch them play in person? Why did the richest people in the world get $1.2 trillion richer in the past year, while those in the working class were either furloughed or laid off altogether? Why is it so important that we cover our faces when we walk into a restaurant, but not important that we keep them covered once we get to our table? What was the reason for one-way lines in grocery stores when we were all breathing the same air the whole time anyway? Who exactly are you protecting by covering your face while driving, alone, in your car? If you're so worried about cross-contamination, why aren't gas pump handles wiped down the way door handles are? Why were small family-owned businesses forced to close, while big box retailers raked in record profits this whole time? If the very air we breathe out is so contagious, why aren't we forced to put face coverings in biohazard containers after use? What purpose do keypad protectors serve when everyone touches the same protector time after time with their bare hands anyway? Why aren't students allowed to share anything in the classroom, but are allowed to play with the same ball during recess? At the doctor's office, why are we forced to cover our faces and sign in on a touchpad, but then get handed a pen by a bare-handed receptionist to fill out our paperwork? Explain why fast food drive-thru workers put your bagged food on a tray to hand to you, but have no problem touching our cards or money with their bare hands. How are you protecting yourself by wearing gloves everywhere when you touch your phone and your face with those gloves as well? Why does no one mention that the disposable face coverings are only intended for single use? If health is really the goal, why aren't people encouraged to exercise with the same regularity they are encouraged to do whatever the CDC recommends? How important is covering your face and social distancing when you're the first ones to break social distancing and get in our face to scream at us when we refuse to comply with your draconian mandates? Why do airlines repeat the lie that wearing a face covering is a federal law when the law itself is unconstitutional to the core? If you have to social distance while waiting in line to board your plane, but sit on that plane next to someone else, what's the point of social distancing in the first place? Since face coverings are such a big deal to you, why isn't there one single universally approved face covering required by all establishments? Which do you really fear more, the virus or independent thought and freedom altogether? Why do you trust the TV more than you trust your own eyes? When will you value your freedoms more than you value absolute compliance? What more will it take for you to stop following orders and start questioning the narrative? The critical thinkers of the world await your response. Get busy. We've got time. And trust me, we're all ears.
The first revolution is when you change your mind about how you look at things and see that there might be another way to look at it that you have not been shown. The revolution will not be televised, and be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution will be live.